Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at game number 16 in our 20 from 1987 series. And this was created by Sega, and it has really impressive zoom in and zoom out graphics for its time. And this is a helicopter flying game, and it's called Thunderblade. This had both the standard upright cabinet, and it also had a cockpit sit-down cabinet in the shape of a helicopter, which was really cool. There are a number of cool things about this game at the time. The controls, there is a lever on the left side that lets you slow down or speed up if you push it up or down. And then there is a joystick with two triggers. There is a trigger for firing missiles, and there's a trigger for firing your cannon. And you can pull down to make yourself rise, and you can push up to make yourself fly downward. And just loved the zoom in, zoom out, the graphics of the tall towers as you move left and right. Wow, I was just spellbound. It was really impressive for 1987. Unfortunately, the boss fights in this game are really quite lame. And the game itself, if you're really good at it, is very short. There's only 4 stages. And the collision detection can be kind of unforgiving at times. It can look like maybe we're supposed to avoid an enemy or a wall, and somehow it registers that you got shot or hit. And you're just sitting there going, what the hell? The graphics in the stage design are pretty nice. I remember seeing this, I might have only seen this once at an arcade, a nickel arcade back in the day. Actually, I think maybe a handful of years after its release. But there you see the controls. And we're going to go ahead and get started. They call this flight training. You will have this type of viewpoint, and again, I was just so wowed. It still looks very nice for 1987. Some of these buildings you can slam into the side of and lose a life, but most of them you'll be able to fly over the tops of them, and you'll need to not stand still while these enemies are trying to shoot at you. Now it says start mission. But yeah, never stand still. Just keep moving, because the enemies will try to fire up at you, and eventually their shots will hit you if you stay there. And now we go to this viewpoint, this third-person viewpoint. You can actually touch down on the ground here. You'll be prompted to take off. Basically, what you want to try to do, especially if you want to get the high score, shoot as many targets as you can before you get to the boss fight. If you can get 50 targets, you will have a chance to get a nice 500,000 point bonus. Whoops. You will have only 3 helicopters, and you cannot get more. You cannot earn extra lives. But once we get through this sort of viewpoint here, then we will go to the boss stage. And again, the boss stages are very lame. You have rapid fire for your cannon and missiles, even though your missiles can only shoot 2 on the screen at once in a group of 2. Just hold the buttons down throughout the game. I do not generally put on the speed in this game. I like to take it slow so that I can get that 50 target amount before I face the boss. You will be given bonus points based on how many enemies you destroyed before you got to the boss. And you can get less than 50 and still get some sort of bonus. But getting that 500,000 would be very, very nice. And we are going to go ahead and face a boss here. Swoop left and right and try to hit the missile button at the right time to take out the ground targets. If you stay still for very long, you are going to get shot. So just keep swooping left and right and hit the missile at the right time to hit the missile button at the right time to take out those ground targets on this ship. Yeah, that master, whatever it is, will not. You cannot collide with it. Don't worry. And I think that's just about it. Yeah, pretty lame boss fight, but at least I got 500,000 points. The top high score is 1 million, so getting that 50 target hit bonus really goes a long way towards getting a high score. And now we're in this canyon, and again, I just love the graphics of the canyon walls or the tall buildings that you're flying in between or whatever. Just looks wonderful for 1987. Just wish the boss fights were more interesting and maybe the hit detection wasn't so mean. And now we're gonna fly through some caverns and to watch out for the stalagmites. And never stay still. Those trees can kill you. Gotta watch yourself here. Not a whole lot of room to maneuver. Ah, crap! I thought I was gonna make it through there. Now I used a save state there because I had to go to work, and unfortunately, it made the graphics wonky, or at least the ground graphics wonky. When you fire, maybe I should have got nailed by one of those pillars. Oh well. When you fire your two missiles by pressing the missile trigger, and you're flying in this scenario, you will fire two missiles right at the ground, and they can take out ground enemies that way. It's pretty nice. This had a Sega Master System port, Sega Genesis port. There were home sequels called Super Thunderblade, and I never played that one. Maybe somebody can tell me if it's worth checking out. I'd never played any of the home ports. Well, when your game is over, you get to continue. And when you continue, you keep your score, which is very nice. And you get to pick up right where you left off. I will eventually have at least a little bit of look at the rest of the stages, and there are only 4 stages, which is really lame. But I'll put in my initials. One of the letters, quote unquote letters, that you can choose is an icon of a panda. Don't know what interest Sega has in pandas, but well, Capcom has their strawberries, their barrels, their cows, their stars, whatever. But yeah, the ground graphics are wonky here. But I almost made it to the boss when I lost my last life, but now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the boss. Looks kind of similar to the last one. Just little ground targets to destroy. Oops. Really uninspiring. Really not all that great. I wish they would have put more time in on the boss fights. Maybe made the game longer. Maybe made some hidden surprises or something in the game. I don't know. I was just kind of disappointed by some things about this game. I probably should have rated this game lower in my 20 from 1987 series. But I was still so blown away. If I didn't put invincibility on here, which I did, I would have crashed into that wall and lost a life. Now, some of the walls, some of the buildings and whatnot, you can crash into the side and die. Most of those you will fly right over, though. Yeah, I almost never use the speed in this game. I like to stay slow. And the lever on the left on the control panel, you push up to slow down, and you push down to go faster. Now it looks like we're in the Everglades. I guess California has their own Everglades or something similar. I haven't been to California terribly often. Most of the time I went there, it was for like Disneyland or maybe Chinatown or San Francisco or something. Yeah, if you're at your height, the highest you can fly in this scenario or close to it, you can often pick off a number of flying enemies. But again, you want to take out as many target enemies as you can before you get to the boss, and then you can hopefully get that 50,000 bonus. Now it looked like we had a temple or something in the distance, but instead we face this airborne boss here, which is yet another ground target bombing type of exercise, which is really rather blah in my opinion. Oh well. I still had to include this for the incredibly innovative zoom in, zoom out graphics, scaling graphics or whatever. But yeah, never stay still. Just keep sweeping left and right and fire your missiles at just the right time in order to beat the bosses in the boss fights. But there will be a list of point values that you could get by destroying a certain amount of enemies. But when it prompts you take off, you're touching on the ground. Whoops, got nailed by a helicopter. Sometimes it's hard to see that helicopters are flying at the same height as you are until you slam into them. Yeah, most of these buildings you'll be able to fly right over. Some of them you can slam into the sides and die, like there. But we're just gonna see at least snippets of the rest of the game. And when you get to this point on the final level, then it resembles the Star Wars, the arcade game of 1983, where you have those barriers that you gotta dodge. And I think here I put on the invincibility, yeah. I just couldn't believe the zoom in, zoom out graphics at the time I first saw this. I was like, wow, that's really nice looking. Sega was quite the innovator for so many different game elements that would become commonplace in later games. And here is the final boss of the game, and this is really quite easy. I took off the invincibility here. And just basically pull a Space Harrier. Don't stay still, just keep moving in kind of a circular direction or whatnot. Just don't stop firing, and eventually you'll take out the enemies. There's like a couple blue sensors that you don't have to destroy, or that you can't destroy. One at the bottom there, and one there in front of me. I didn't mean to keep touching down. And that is the end of Thunderblade. Really a short game if you're very good at it. Or if you use invincibility through a lot of it. And the boss fights are really lame, but so worth checking out for its incredible zoom in, zoom out graphics. For its time, it was unbelievable. It's still pretty nice to go back and look at it. But that was Thunderblade by Sega in 1987. Helicopter flying game with various point of view changes. I'm going to put in my initials, RUS. Well, this weekend we're getting mask mandates lifted in Oregon, at least in public buildings. Still have to wear them on the bus, and I have to wear them at work at the hospital. But that was Thunderblade, created by Sega in 1987. That was game number 16 in our 20 from 1987 series. Well, I thank you for watching Thunderblade, and I hope to see you soon for game number 15. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.